Nick Rudder from McKees 37. In this video, I'm going to discuss how to remove swirl marks, scratches, and oxidation using our polishing compounds. So besides waxes and sealants and interior cleaners and tire coatings and everything else, we also manufacture a complete line of polishing compounds that are extremely popular for professionals, beginners, and even body shops like Wayne Carini's F40 Motorsports in Connecticut. Step one of paint restoration is our complete swirl remover. This product has engineered abrasive technology, and what that means is that it's going to remove the paint defects, swirl marks and scratches and oxidation, without scouring or hazing the finish. And in the body shop environment, you can use it to remove 1,500 grit sanding marks. So real long buffing cycle, and it's extremely easy to wipe off. It's not one of those caveman compounds that dusts and slings everywhere. It actually works more like a wax when you apply it. Now, when you're using a swirl remover, ideally you want to work by machine, especially if it's on a modern finish. Modern clear coat finishes, they're too hard to work by hand, so you need the power of something like a dual action polisher, which for this video, I'm going to showcase the cordless Flex XCE, which is a forced rotation polisher. And we have it in battery powered, which I'm showing here, and then we have it in a corded. I picked the battery powered because it's simply more convenient. Now, when you're removing swirl marks and scratches and oxidation, you want to pair your polishing compound with the appropriate pad. In our Redline pad series, we have quite a few options, starting with the most aggressive. This is our 7.5 inch wool pad. This is something that you would use with a high-speed rotary buffer in a scenario where you're trying to remove like 1,500 grit sanding marks. And then we have our purple foam dual pad, and this was engineered to be used with a dual action polisher. And this guy, again, this is for extreme instances where the paint is heavily weathered and really faded and oxidized. Typically not the kind of stuff you find on a daily driver that's maybe 5 or 10 years old. Next up is our microfiber pad. And the microfiber pad is going to be more aggressive than foam, but not as aggressive as wool. And this comes down to, again, working on paint that's in pretty rough shape. For this video, I'm going to demonstrate the most common pads for this process that, in my experience, the last 12 years, 95% of people will use this pad and they'll be done with it, meaning it has enough mechanical cutting ability to remove the defects with the swirl remover, but it's also friendly enough to where you can be a beginner and there's no intimidation. You don't have to be apprehensive when you approach this step. And that's our yellow foam cutting pad in the Redline pad series that we manufacture. This pad is available in a number of different sizes, ranging from 3 inch all the way to 6 inch. And it is an aggressive foam and it pairs perfectly with the abrasives in our complete swirl remover. It provides a real long buffing cycle and it's really easy to wipe off. When using a swirl remover, it's important that you work on a small section at a time. So for example, when you're using something like the Porter Cable 7424XP, a traditional dual action polisher, you want to work on an area that's about 12 inches by 12 inches. You want to apply firm downward pressure and perform slow overlapping section passes. When you're using a more powerful tool, like the Flex XCE, that machine is a gear-driven forced rotation orbital polisher. So you get all the safety of something like the Porter Cable, however, you get a lot more power. And with that power, you can work on a much larger area. So like on this Toyota Camry that I'm working on, I would realistically divide this hood into 4 or maybe 6 sections. So with the Flex, work on a much larger area. And when you're starting out with a fresh pad, apply an X of polish. That's going to prime the pad because if you have a dry pad, you want some polish in there. And then for each subsequent section, it only takes a few dabs of polish. Complete swirl remover is really, really concentrated, and the blend of abrasive powder is also very concentrated, so you don't have to use a whole lot. One 16-ounce bottle will correct the swirl marks and scratches on a number of different vehicles, so that also makes it a fantastic value. Put the pad flat on the paint, and starting off at a slow speed just to spread it out, and then crank up your polisher to speed 5 if you're using a Flex, or if it's something like a Porter Cable or comparable, go to speed 6. Perform slow section passes, up and down, and then side to side, and after about 5 or 6 passes, you'll notice the polish will start to turn clear. Turn your machine off without lifting off the paint, and then wipe it off. You'll be pleasantly surprised at just how easy complete swirl remover is to wipe off the paint. If you've ever used the polishing compound from years ago, it's like wiping off concrete. This is not the case. It wipes off like one of our synthetic paint sealants. So complete swirl remover, that's step number one to removing the oxidation, the swirl marks, the scratches, and after you perform that step, the paint's going to look amazing. Now, to further refine the surface, step number two is our complete finishing polish. Complete finishing polish takes the paint that's right now, after using complete swirl remover, from an 8 to a 10. So this guy, it contains a finer blend of abrasives, and if you feel it in your hands, it actually feels like a paint sealant or even a skin lotion. It's a very fine polish, again, body shop safe, and you would use this after the complete swirl remover, or if you're working on a vehicle that's in relatively good shape and just has minor hazing. It's great for that. And when using a finishing polish, what you would typically grab is either a white polishing pad or a black finishing pad. And this is where you want to have a selection of pads handy. You know, I've been taking phone calls for 12 years, guys saying, I need to know exactly what pads to buy. And my answer is always the same. You want to have a selection of pads. So, like on our website, McKees 37, you can get a 6-pack of pads, you can mix and match the colors, you want to stock up. So, but from my experience, working on black Toyota paint, I'm going to use the white foam polishing pad. This is a medium cut, actually leaning towards the light side of cut. It pairs great with our complete finishing polish, and again, it's going to take the gloss from an 8 to a 10. And you would apply this the same way as the swirl remover. However, the speed on your polisher is going to be lower. Like for example on the Flex, I'm going to do speed 4. If you're using a Porter cable or comparable, do speed 5. And you're still going to perform slow overlapping section passes. However, your arm speed can be slightly faster because the swirl remover has already done the hard work for you. You've already removed the defects. Right now, you're just polishing to a high gloss. And again, after 5 or 6 passes, wipe it off, stand back, take a few pictures for social media. You'll be blown away at the gloss that complete finishing polish produces. Last but not least, you have the paint looking flawless at this point. Now it's time to apply your favorite wax or sealant or ceramic coating. For this demonstration, I'm going to showcase our high def paint sealant. This product produces a deep gloss finish. It's easy on, it's easy off. You can apply it by hand or by machine. In this case, I'm going to apply it again using the Flex XCE. And for this application, I'm going to use our black foam finishing pad. Unlike using a swirl remover or finishing polish, you're not abrading the paint at this point. You're just applying a top coat. You've already done the hard work. This is just easy on, easy off. Cover each section 1 or 2 times. You don't have to get fancy with section passes. Turn your speed down on your tool. Apply a thin, even coat. I'd go over the entire vehicle. Let it dry to a haze. Takes about 15-20 minutes, and then wipe it off. Now here's the deal with this product. If you have the luxury of a garage, apply the sealant to the entire vehicle. Let the car sit in the garage. Come back the next day, whether it's the next morning or it's the next night, whatever it is, and wipe it off. It'll still be effortless to wipe off. And what happens, the longer you let it dry to a haze, the tighter the polymers cross-link. So you get a much stronger bond of protection and a higher gloss and an unbelievably slick finish. So I hope you enjoyed this video. That's how you restore the dull, neglected paint. And this is applicable to a vehicle that's 6 months old or a vehicle that's 60 years old. All these products are safe on modern clear coat finishes and antique single stage paint finishes. Again, this is what Wayne Carini, owner of F40 Motorsports in Connecticut, the host of Chasing Classic Cars, a partner at McKees 37, this is what his guys use in their shop for all the vehicles that come in and go out, whether it's a simple flip a car for a customer or if it's a complete restoration. For more information, visit McKees37.com and be sure to subscribe to our videos. Take care and God bless.